session by Vedantu 9&10 English. My name is Pritesh. I'm your host, your host, and a proud master teacher from Vedantu, welcoming you to your grade 9 chapter tissues, where we'll be discussing the plant tissues, simple permanent tissues. In the previous session, we have already learned what is the difference between plant and animal tissues. We have already discussed that what are the meristematic tissues, which are the growing tissues, which are the non-permanent tissues. And in that also, we have got three types, that is apical, intercalary, and lateral. Today, we'll be discussing the permanent tissues where we have got the Sclerenchyma, Parenchyma, Collenchyma, Chlorenchyma, and the xylem and the phloem. We have also got different parts of the xylem and the phloem. All of that we'll be discussing in today's session, that is tissues. So let us quickly begin the learning, right? So we'll be discussing tissues in today's session. Do not forget to give this very, very interesting video a big fat thumbs up and subscribe to Vedantu 9th English, because it is the only channel where you get to learn your entire NCERT purely in English. So do give this video a big fat thumbs up, right? So let's learn about the permanent tissues and plant tissues. What do you mean by permanent tissues? Now these tissues have stopped growing. They have lost the ability to grow anymore by the process of differentiation. Plant tissue that has completed its growth and differentiation and is usually incapable of meristematic activity. What do you mean by the term meristematic activity? Right? So we are talking about the term meristematic activity. Meristematic activity means growing activity. Right? Now, what do you mean by the word differentiation? Differentiation means suppose a group of cells are growing. Suppose a group of cells are growing, then what will happen? Except one cell, all the other cells will stop growing. So all these others will become permanent, right? They will stop growing. Whereas this one cell will continue growth. And this process where a group of cells become different from one and only one remains as meristematic, where the other turns to permanent, that is called as differentiation. That is called as differentiation, and we will be learning in detail about these different tissues itself. So we have already learned about meristematic tissues. Under permanent, we have got simple and complex. Under simple, we have got parent, colon, scleren, and chlorenchyma. Whereas under complex, we have got xylem, phloem. Xylem has got tracheates, vessels, xylem, parenchyma, and xylem fibers. Phloem has got sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem, parenchyma, and phloem fibers. So let's explore these. We begin with parenchyma. Usually, parenchyma are the living tissues. Even in the xylem, parenchyma are the only living tissues of the xylem fiber. They are present in the root, stem, leaves, flowers, and seeds. The function is to store food, fill the vacant spaces, and provide support. Right? So they are the space filling tissues. They are present in the root, in the stem, the leaves, flowers, and also the seeds. Basically, the parenchyma are present everywhere. Also, apart from that, they are the living tissues. So the very, very important part about parenchyma that you have to remember is that parenchyma are the living tissues. Now, there are subtypes of parenchyma, that is the arenchyma and chlorenchyma. Now, if I tell you about arenchyma, so arenchyma are the tissues that are filled with air. For example, in the lotus leaves, why does a lotus leaf float on water? So if I give you a little bit information over here, arenchyma are the ones which are filled with air. They are filled with air, right? And where you will find them? So this you can find in the lotus leaf. The reason why lotus leaf floats on water is because it has got arenchyma tissues. They are filled with air and they keep the leaf floating on water. Chlorenchyma, as the name suggests, they are filled with chlorophyll. They are filled with chlorophyll. They have chlorophyll present in the chloroplast, right? So these are the ones which have chlorophyll in them present in the leaf. Okay? So if you see, Parenchyma and Sclerenchyma both are present in the leaves, and they are type of subtypes of Parenchyma, right? Parenchyma, Sclerenchyma both are subtypes of Parenchyma. So after Parenchyma, we move on to the next tissue, and that is Collenchyma. Again, this is living. It is present at the base of the petiole of the leaf, stem and the branches. As you can see, when I tell you it is present at the base of the leaf in the petiole. Now, if you look at the structure of the leaf, petiole, that is also called as the stalk, it is the supporting part of the leaf. The leaf is supported on the petiole. The leaf is supported on the petiole, right? This is how a leaf looks like. This part is the petiole. So it is something that gives support, and it is also something that gives flexibility. So even if you remember the location of Collenchyma or where is Collenchyma found, you'll be able to easily tell about its function. So the function of the Collenchyma is to provide support. Now, we move on to the next one, that is Sclerenchyma. So the difference is that Parenchyma is living, Collenchyma is living, but Sclerenchyma are the dead cells. So dead, you will find it mostly in the bark, stem, hard coat of seeds, veins of leaves, and outer covering of coconut. They provide strength and rigidity to various parts of the plant. So basically, these are the dead cells, these are the dead tissues where no more function is required. The only reason for them to be present in the plant is to give support and hardness, rigidity. You know, a human dead body, when the human body is dead, it becomes stiff like a stone, right? So similarly, they are also dead cells. They are very, very stiff. They are very, very hard. And the only function of them is to provide support. Have you ever seen the midrib of the leaf? It is so hard, right? The veins of few leaves are so very hard. So their function is also to remain hard and to provide a rigidity and support to the plant. So that is why they are the dead cells. So we explored the Parenchyma, which are the living ones present almost everywhere to fill up the spaces. Their subtypes are Aren and Sclerenchyma. Parenchyma are air-filled, Sclerenchyma have chlorophyll. The Collenchyma again are living, present in the petiole, which means they give support and flexibility. The Sclerenchyma, they are the dead ones, so obviously they will give rigidity and stiffness to the plant. Present in the stem, the seed coat, present in the veins of the leaves. Now we come to the complex permanent tissues, that is xylem and phloem. We all know that xylem and phloem are called as the vascular bundle. Their function is to conduct water, minerals, and food respectively. Xylem conducts water and minerals, phloem conducts the food. Xylem is unidirectional, whereas phloem is bidirectional. Now let us see exactly what the xylem is made of. So xylem has one-way flow with no end walls. It conducts water and minerals. It starts from the root and goes to the tip of the plant. It has got the xylem vessels with advanced water conductive elements found in flowering plants. It also has got tracheids, which are elongated cells with tapering ends. They form the main conductive cells in some non-flowering plants. We have got in the xylem the fibers which provide support to the plant, and the xylem parenchyma, which are the only living cells of the xylem. They help in functions of secretion and storage of water and minerals. So the tracheids, the vessels, the fibers, and the parenchyma. And when I talk about the phloem, phloem is something which transports food. It has two-way flow with perforation ended walls. Now, the phloem has got the sieve tube and the companion cells which are next to each other. So you can see that this part is the sieve tube element, and next to the sieve tube elements is the companion cells. They help in upward and downward movement of food. There is something called as the phloem fiber, which loses the protoplasm of maturity and at maturity and becomes dead. So again, these are lignified, made of lignin, and they become dead when they mature. So their function is also to give a support, a rigidity to the phloem vessel. Phloem parenchyma, again, it is the only living cell. It stores food and substances such as mucilage, latex, and resin. Now, Plants like the rubber plant. If you give a cut to the rubber plant, it will start giving out a white color latex. Where does that latex come from? That latex comes from the phloem parenchyma, which stores the latex. There are some plants which give out things like gum, like orange colored resin from it. Where does it come from? You just have to give a slit to the bark and it will start oozing out. Where does this come from? It comes from the phloem parenchyma. Phloem parenchyma is responsible for storing the mucilage, latex, resin, and the gum. Again, it is the only living part of the phloem, right? That is it. So we learned about the permanent tissues, in which we learned the simple, that is parenchyma, parenchyma. Under parenchyma we had aren, chlorin. We learned about collenchyma and we learned about sclerenchyma. We also learned about the complex permanent tissues, where we learned about the xylem, where we had tracheates, vessels, fibers, and parenchyma, and phloem, where we had the sieve tubes, companion cells, again vessels, and the parenchyma. So all of this we learned about plant tissues. Here, with this we come to the end of plant tissues. After this, we'll be moving on to the animal tissues, but yes, we'll be also having a V quiz, a live V quiz based on plant tissues after this session. So make sure that you watch this and the previous session in detail so that you can play the live quiz with me properly. Also guys, here is a homework question for you, that write a small note on plant tissues. Here you can also tell that how simple are plant tissues, because they are not as complex as animal tissues. Mostly plant tissues are not alive because they do not have as much activities as the animals have. And then you can give a brief classification of the plant tissues, that is meristematic, permanent. Under meristematic we have got the apical, intercalary, and lateral. Under permanent we have got simple and complex. Under simple we have got parenchyma, under which we have got erenchyma, chlorenchyma. We have got collenchyma, sclerenchyma. Under complex, we have got xylem, phloem. Under xylem, we have got vessels, tracheates, fibers, and parenchyma. Under phloem, we have got sieve tube, companion cells, fibers, and the parenchyma. So if you can give this description, you can either give this answer in the comment section below, or you can also write about it in your book and send a photo to me on my Instagram. Sorry, on my email ID, that is pritesh.joshi@vedantu.com. You can also give it to me on my Instagram at pritesh_Vedantu. Right? Now for the NTSC guys, we have got a very interesting course for all of you. This interesting course is to prepare, it helps you to prepare and compete in India's biggest competition for grade 10, exclusive seats reserved in renowned colleges of NTSC qualifiers. As an NTSC scholar, you get scholarship throughout your academic career, and you also get preference for government and various private and prestigious jobs. So the NTSC crash course of Vedantu gives you 10 sessions of mathematics, 6 of social studies, 10 of math, and 4 of science. Right? You get to learn from India's best NTSC coach, that is Reenu ma'am, Ravjot sir, and Sandeep sir. Right? Have already given best ranks in the country. Right? So you can join. The classes are starting from the 13th of June at 7 p.m. They have already started. Remember to use the coupon code PREPRO to get a bumper discount when you are learning with Vedantu. Right? So remember to use the coupon code PREPRO to get a nice 10% discount and enroll for the NTSC batch, so that you can rise and shine not only in your city, not only in your state, but in the entire country. Right? So enroll for NTSC. It's really a very prestigious exam. With that guys, do not forget to give this video a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to Vedantu 9/10 English, and do share this video with your friends and school WhatsApp groups. I'll be seeing you again really very soon. Till then, take care of yourself. God bless you all. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.